Man, I'm sick of watching all these desk setup tours on YouTube that are crazy nice and then looking at my own desk setup and not knowing how to get mine to look like that. I mean, I don't even know where to start with mine half the time. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels like this, looking at these crazy nice setups with the RGB lights, the wall art, amazingly nice desk, the pristine cable management. Don't get me wrong, these setups are absolutely amazing, but for me and a lot of other people, I'm sure, it's really hard to bring those kind of setups to our own reality. That's why I made this video. Today we're going to be looking at how to make a very simple, functional yet aesthetic setup that anybody can put together. All the items are going to be inexpensive and very easily accessible. I'm going to show you exactly how to put them together, how to lay them out in a way that you're proud of. I'm going to link all these items below in the description, so if you're looking for anything, you know where to find it. Go click that subscribe button and let's just jump right into it. The desk itself is probably the most important thing that you can get because everything else is going to be centered around the desk. Now you can get those crazy nice sit and stand desks that are motorized, and these desks are great, but they can be expensive. So if you're a college student like me or somebody in the same position, you want a desk that doesn't break the bank. That's why I recommend going with a plain desk from IKEA. A simple color will go well with pretty much anything, no matter what color your room is, or the wall colors, or some of the accessories. A simple plain desk will ensure that everything is at least somewhat matching. The IKEA Linnemann desk, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's the one that I would go for, and that's the one that I have right now. For example, you can literally buy this exact desk for $9.99, and then you just have to buy the legs. That's a steal, and you can actually get a couple of them, make them as big as you want, and for that price you can't really go wrong. Now what makes some desks stand out from others is the lights and the colors that you can use to set a vibe or set an aesthetic. Believe it or not, setting up lights that look cool is actually really simple. Just follow me along. First off, look to Amazon for some of your lights because spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on lights will defeat the whole purpose of keeping this a budget-friendly video. Now the first thing that you can do is to look for an LED light strip and put it on the back of your desk. This will provide a little bit of a nice little ambient glow, and it'll go a long way in the overall look of your setup. Next, find a cheap floor lamp, put that on the side of your desk and use that as a brighter lamp. For example, the one that I'm using over here, I bought literally for $8.99 from IKEA. You put in an RGB light that you can find from Amazon, and you can control all the colors from your phone. Okay, so the next thing you can do is, for example, with me, I added some string lights. Literally only took 3 screws. Again, bought the string lights for pretty cheap from IKEA, and I just hung those above the desk. It's little things like this, when you add them up together, it actually goes a long way on setting a really, really nice aesthetic. These are super easy ways that you can take your desk setup to the next level. Plus, if you get some RGB lights you can control with your phone, you can switch all the light combinations and you can go for a combination that doesn't get you bored and that you'd enjoy at different times of the day, setting different moods. Remember, we want to keep things simple, but we want to add some character along the way, and lights like these are the perfect way to do that. Cable management is where things can get a little bit tricky, but let me tell you firsthand, they don't have to be. As we said earlier, we don't have a height adjustable desk, so we only have the cable management for our sitting level. That's gonna make our lives a whole lot easier. You're gonna need only 2 real things for cable management. The first thing you're gonna need is a power bar. These you can find very common, very cheap. Just make sure that it's surge protected so you're protecting your electronics. And the size depends on how much things you have to power. If you have a lot of lights, a lot of chargers, you're gonna need a bigger power bar. Now we can mount the power bar on the underneath of the desk. We can either use some screws if your power bar supports that, or we can use some double-sided tape. That's the way that I would recommend is double-sided tape. Low key, I used to use like duct tape. I used to roll it on each other and then just kind of put it on the bottom and stick it. I don't recommend that because it's not the most stable solution, but in a pinch, duct tape will get the job done. Next thing that you need is going to make your life a whole lot easier is one of these cable management trays or boxes. I just typed in desk cable management and found this one on Amazon. So this screws right under your desk, and then you can tuck in all the cables as well as the power bar here to get them off the ground out of sight. Now with this, there's only going to be one cable, which is for the power bar, and then all your other cables are hidden. And look at that, cable management made easy. The last thing is accessories. Accessories are where you can really personalize your desk setup and take it to the next level and show your own personality off. Now, there are so many different accessories that it can be a little bit daunting to pick which ones that you want to include in your setup, and you still want them to look good, but you don't want it to be cluttered. So to make your life easier, here's some of the accessories that I would recommend that are very safe and would elevate your desk setup and are still functional as well. Fake plants. Fake plants are the easiest way to add some warmth and color to your setup. Just make sure they don't take up too much space. I'd stick to the small green plants. These are the most unintrusive, and overall I like the way that they look in any setup. Floating shelves are also a great way to keep your stuff off your actual desk, which frees up some space and organizes the actual setup. Plus, they look really cool and they're really modern. They're fairly easy to set up, just a couple screws. Just make sure you're not overloading it, because remember, we want to make it minimal and we want to make it clean rather than cluttered. Wall art is also one of the best ways to express your personality in your own setup. Simple wall art is more my style, but this is so personal that whatever you choose will look good because it showcases you. They don't add too much visual clutter, and they look good because it looks like a little bit more professional and a little bit more done up. And finally, some additional stuff that you can add on your desk setup is things that will go along very well. For example, wireless chargers, headphone stands, or like books for that matter. Something that doesn't add too much visual clutter, but still adds a little bit more character and ties in the setup together. Remember, the goal is not to create the world's most extravagant setup. The goal is to create a functional setup that you're proud of, that doesn't break the bank, but you're also happy with how it looks. Now, all the things that we talked about today are some of the easiest ways that you can set up your setup to look visually appealing and not go too crazy. This video was a guide for how to get started, because I know that watching some of these crazy setups can be a very daunting thing, and sometimes you don't know how to get started, how to make your setup looking that certain way. I hope this video was helpful in taking some tangible steps to get your setup looking the way you want. So that's going to do it for me in this video. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. My name is Aryan. Back again with another video very, very soon. Click that subscribe button. If you found this video helpful, make sure you drop it a like. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.